Welcome to Live, Laugh, Talk. I'm your host, James Graham, and it is absolutely a privilege to be in your ear. In this episode, we will begin with the topic entitled The Talk. Then we will transition to our segment, How Did We Get Here?, followed by our Hobbies and Special Interest section, and then conclude with our sunflower message, which is our happy note for the day. Do you have something on your mind that you would like to discuss? Maybe you get a concern, or possibly you have a show idea. You know what? We would love to hear it. Please go to admin at livelaughtalk.com. That's admin at livelaughtalk.com. In addition, if listening on Spotify, you can also add a voice memo as well as comments and participate in our poll. Also, wherever you listen to the podcast, please follow us so that you're notified of the new episodes when they're released. The topic that we will begin with is entitled The Talk. There is a young man by the name of Nick Battle. He clearly remembers his first brush with what we call the talk. It was the mid-1980s, and he was 8 years old, sitting in the back of his parents' car in Virginia with his younger brother, when they noticed a patrol vehicle behind them. The brothers were excited, so they turned around and stared. Battle is black, and his parents, who grew up in the Jim Crow South in the 1950s and 60s, had some immediate instructions. They told him, "Don't turn around. Look straight ahead." They explained that staring at the police could be dangerous. It could be dangerous when you have black skin. If they didn't stop staring, Battle's parents said, the police could pull them over and search their car, or worse. He never forgot that. Having the talk with young black men typically refers to a conversation about racial profiling, systemic racism, and how to navigate encounters with law enforcement. This conversation is important to prepare them for the potential challenges they may face due to racial bias. It's crucial to discuss how to stay safe, assert their rights, and advocate for change while also promoting self-respect and dignity. It's a sensitive and vital conversation that can help young black men protect themselves and advocate for a more just society. What brought this about on our podcast was just last week on our 50th anniversary show, we had a guest on. That guest was Sparkle and her husband Andrew. And they mentioned raising their children. And she mentioned in that podcast about the difficulties that her child would have due to the fact that he was a young black man. Because she was commenting on our podcast about the challenges that young people face. She expounded, said, my child faces something different because of his dark skin. In addition to addressing racial profiling and interactions with law enforcement, the talk with young black men may also encompass other aspects of their lives. It can involve discussing the importance of education, self-confidence, and setting goals to overcome obstacles. Parents and mentors often provide guidance on how to respond to stereotypes, discrimination, and microaggressions in a constructive and empowering manner. Encouraging community involvement and fostering a sense of pride in their heritage are also key components of this conversation. The ultimate goal is to equip our young black men, especially young black women as well, with the knowledge and resilience needed to thrive in a world that may present unique challenges due to their race. And we say young black women as well. It's not that black women aren't affected, but what we see is that the systemic racism that's handed down, the issues with the police, many of the things that we have to worry about for young black people that drive down the road is a male issue. For some reason, in the eyes of many people, and we're going to just call it racist people, they see a young black male like an animal. He's dangerous to them. They look at him as though he's a bear, and they fear for their lives, and thus he must be killed. That is so sad. That is not true. So many beautiful young black men have nothing to give but an awesomeness of themselves to their society and to the world. Black youths in the United States have always been warned about dealing with authority figures safely and instructed by their parents or other caregivers on the dangers they face due to racism. Variations of the talk have been conducted in black families for decades or generations. The practice dates back to slavery and has lasted for centuries. Yet the talk has evolved. You see, in the 1940s, the talk might have covered avoiding certain neighborhoods. In the 1980s, it might have covered how to dress, walk, and act, and to be mindful of how others could perceive them. In the 2010s, it focused on interactions with the police. In 2020, during and after the George Floyd protests, some black commentators called for white parents to have a similar talk with their children on how to behave when they witness racist behavior and how to be anti racist. Later that year, during the final 2020 United States presidential debate, the moderator asked both candidates to express their opinions on the talk. Interesting. Sometimes the talk is a conversation that continues over many years. I think back to my father, as I've mentioned before, that my father was a police officer, former police officer. Yes, I'm the son of a police officer. And he's had the talk with me, but the talk has changed over the years. You see, when I was a teenager, and you've heard me mention several people on this podcast, their family, my brother, Kevin, he and I, we didn't have the internet, of course. So we loved cars. What we would do is we would go to car lots and look at all the new cars that came out. This time of the year, right now, if you look at your calendar, when all the new cars would drop, that's when we would go out. Yes, August through November was our time. It would be in the showrooms. We'd walk around those car lots and touch and feel them. That's it. Let's walk around. We didn't have phones, cameras. So we would just walk around, touch, and feel. And, ooh, we couldn't wait to get home and tell my dad about the new cars. And then he would go out and test drive and or buy. But we were the scouts. So one day, we were out doing our little scouting, walking around the car lot, and the car lot was well lit. My brother had a car that was about 3 or 4 years old. It wasn't some jalopy. He was old enough to drive. I was 15 at the time. He's a little older than me. He was just about 17, going on 18. And we were dressed well because we have very conservative parents. decent haircuts, as to say decent. I hate that word, but decent as far as Americans would look at black males. And we were assaulted. I'm gonna call it what it is by two police officers. They came onto the car lot. They're like, "What are you doing? Get out!" Pull guns on us. It was horrific. I didn't even have a chance to tell them my name without them slamming me on the hood of a car and holding a gun to my head and screaming and yelling. That incident changed my life forever. It changed the way I view police. Now, I'm the son of a police officer. So, does that mean I hate the police? Does that mean no? But what I recognized at that time was the talk that my father had with me prior was so important because if I didn't say the right thing and I didn't do the right thing, I wouldn't be here today with you on this podcast. There would be a nice casket for me in the ground in my hometown. That's how important the talk is. And when we talk about some of the things that I even just said disgust me, that the fact that my brother had to have a decent car, because if we were in something else and we were on that car lot, they would have looked at us differently. Even worse, I'm sure. If we would have had hairstyles that were, famous in that day and that time, well, walked up on us and would have saw just two whatever they're thinking by just looking at our hair. If we had on clothes that were different than what we had on, clothes of the time, not very conservative clothes like we have, like slacks and a nice button down. If we would have been dressed in jeans and whatever, we'd have been looked at a different way. It's affected us till this time. Now, I can't speak for my brother, but I do know that that wasn't the last time. It happened to him again, and one day maybe he wants to come on the show and share. The second time was much worse as he was much older and had his own son at the time. But yes, these things happen, and it's important for parents to let their children know what to say, what to do. That's what the talk is about when you're in those situations. Don't resist. Don't overtalk. Don't try to explain. Just answer questions when asked, comply, all of that. And it's such a sad thing because I went to an area of employment and I just had a conversation with one employee that was not African American. And I said, "Have you had a talk with your children?" It's a Caucasian man. I just wanted to see what his reply would be. I was thinking maybe he would say, "What's the talk?" But no, he said, "You mean like the birds and the bees?" See, see, that's the talk that most families have to have with their kids. Black families have to have that too, along with how to save your life. And anytime that somebody comes to you and say, "Well, you know, well, this is all lives, and why are you just talking about black and what? Well, we're not talking about black. We're not talking about all because if we came in a neighborhood and there was a house on fire, well, yeah, all the houses matter, but the one on fire that's on fire, we need to we need help. Well, that's what's going on here. All lives, all lives, all lives, of course. But all lives are not in danger. Just this year, I'm not going to go back to 2020. I'm going to talk about 2023. Just this year, as of October, there has been 92 unarmed black men killed by police. 92. Just this year. We're not talking about now it would be well over the 492 that's been killed since 20. We're well over those numbers that we talked about during the George Floyd time. We've passed that by a long shot. And it's interesting that on the day that I'm recording this, that it's George Floyd's birthday, and there's a celebration there in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's a sad thing. There's so many more George Floyds. 92 to be specific. So, as I was saying, sometimes it's a conversation that continues over many years. My father and I, we talk about this often. As I've reached much older than I was then, decades have gone by. He and I still talk. As a matter of fact, my father will call me in my 40s every day to make sure I got home safely. The son of a police officer, a former police officer himself, has to call his black son and say, "Are you home safely, son?" When Nick Battle, the gentleman we mentioned on the onset, got his driver's license in the 90s, his parents expanded on the talk with something more than the typical instructions on how to parallel park. They talked to him in detail about what to do if he ever got pulled over by the police. And many black people may have had this conversation as well. Turn the music down, they told him. Even better, tune it to a gospel station, they said, so it doesn't sound threatening to the police. Keep your wallet on the dashboard so that you don't have to reach into your pants pocket. Keep your glove compartment clear of anything but registration and insurance so you can get to them quickly. If you have to fumble around, police might suspect a weapon. My parents will walk us through the process, even down to making sure that the attorney that we got was white, he says. It really informed how I view the police, he went on to say. I did not necessarily view them as people that were going to help me. I viewed them as people I needed to make sure I did not have to engage with. Now, this young man that we're speaking of, he is a psychiatrist who helps others. He mentioned that the talk was about the do's and don'ts with the police. But since then, he says, it has evolved into a broader conversation on how to stay safe in a world with racial bias. And that's a good thing, says psychologist Earl Turner, founder of Therapy for Black Kids. We know more about the psychological impacts of racism and bias, he says. It can take a toll on your self esteem and lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and even depression. That's why today, Turner says, parents also use the talk to teach children about cultural pride and mental health issues, as well as about their own rights under the law. You can't just talk about the negative ways race impacts you. You also have to talk to kids about their own identity and highlight the positive aspects of their culture, he says. Research shows that these kinds of positive messages about cultural pride and personal agency do help children of color to process racial issues in a healthier way. And I have to say that that's the truth as well, because my parents gave me positive messages. They made sure that I understood who I am, where I came from. So the talk is not just the dangers on the outside, but also to understand who you are as well. Children as young as 3 or 4 can have conversations about how people are different. No, nobody's saying to teach racism, but they do notice differences. And you can have conversations about how people of different skin colors, hair, racial backgrounds are all people and how everybody is to be loved. That's the conversation that I had with my parents. It was a conversation of love. We didn't talk about racism at home, but they did have to talk to me about the racism that's outside. Rage is something that we want to avoid in our children. So that's why we want to educate our kids. Because if they get enraged by what they may see on TV, as far as like for instance, the George Floyd killing, then there could be emotional turmoil. There could be anger. And we don't need that. Because rage, if it's not checked, it can lead to depression and a lot of risky behaviors. So, what we need to do is to make sure that moving forward, that we have the talk with our kids. Yes, it's changed over the years, but the issues that it deals with has not. Many Black parents continue to fear racial bias and violence against their children. And surely research has shown that racial violence against one Black person in the community affects the mental and even the physical health of the entire community. And that's what we have to remember. We have to remember that we are just one community. We are human beings. And if one is affected and hurt, then that's all of us. So, yes, I urge Black parents to continue to have the talk. And I urge everyone of every other race to continue to understand and to be involved as well. To make sure that when they see racial bias, that they don't accept it either. No one should accept it. We're all in this together. And that's the only way that we can make this a better world and a better place. Let's have the talk. But yet, let's make change. There are several pressing issues affecting the world's oceans, including plastic pollution, oil spills, and the release of harmful chemicals into the ocean. Many fish populations are being depleted due to overfishing, threatening ocean ecosystems, and the livelihoods of those who depend on fishing. Increased carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere are leading to ocean acidification, harming marine life and coral reefs. Rising sea temperatures are causing coral reefs to bleach and die, which impacts biodiversity and coastal protection. Habitats are being destroyed, and marine species are threatened with extinction due to various human activities. This depletes fish stocks, undermines conservation efforts, and harms coastal communities. Addressing these issues requires international cooperation, sustainable fishing practices, pollution reduction, and climate change mitigation. Yet, millions of tons of plastic waste out of this country enter the oceans annually, harming marine life and ecosystems. Microplastics, tiny plastic particles, are of particular concern as they can be ingested by marine organisms and enter the food chain. Accidental oil spills from ships from this country has happened, and offshore drilling can have catastrophic effects on marine environments, causing long-term damage to ecosystems and wildlife. Blooms of algae can produce toxins that harm marine life and pose risks to human health when contaminated seafood is consumed. Increased traffic and industrial activities in the ocean generate underwater noise, which can disrupt marine mammals' communication and navigation, leading to stranding and population declines. Climate change is causing sea levels to rise, which threatens coastal communities' infrastructure and ecosystems as well. The illegal trade of marine species, such as seahorses and sea turtles, is of major concern as it threatens many endangered species. Expanding and effectively managing the marine protected areas is crucial to conserve marine biodiversity and protect our ecosystems. Solutions to these problems involve a combination of policies, technological innovations, sustainable practices, and individual actions. Our government, other governments, businesses, and individuals all play a role in preserving and protecting our oceans for future generations. But all of this that we've discussed and all the terrible things that's going on with our oceans causes us to ask ourselves, how did we get here? Listening to audiobooks is a fantastic hobby. It allows you to enjoy literature and gain knowledge while multitasking or simply relaxing. Whether you prefer fiction, nonfiction, self help, or any other genre, there's likely an audiobook for you. It's a convenient way to make the most of your time, whether you're commuting, exercising, or simply winding down. If you ever need audiobook recommendations or tips on where to find them, feel free to write in to our show. Audiobooks come in a wide range of genres, from mystery and science fiction to biographies and historical fiction. This diversity allows you to explore different subjects and genres that interest you. A skilled narrator can bring a story to life with their voice, adding depth and emotion to the characters and plot. Choosing audiobooks narrated by talented individuals can enhance your listening experience. Audiobooks also provide the flexibility to enjoy literature while doing other activities, such as cooking, cleaning, or even during a long drive. It's a great way to maximize your time. Many classic books are available as audiobooks as well, making it easier to experience literary masterpieces even if you have a busy schedule. There are several apps and services that offer extensive libraries, allowing you to easily browse, purchase, or rent audiobooks. Some even offer monthly subscriptions for avid listeners. You can join audiobook clubs or forums to discuss your favorite books, exchange recommendations, and connect with fellow enthusiasts. Remember to consider factors like the narrator's style, book length, and your personal interests when selecting these books. It's a hobby that offers both entertainment and learning opportunities, making it a valuable pastime. Of course, there are some other things that you might want to consider as you make this your hobby. You want to be sure to regularly listen to these audiobooks. Yes, because if you regularly listen, this can enhance your listening skills and comprehension, which can be beneficial in various aspects of life, including work and relationships. Audiobooks can be stored on your smartphone or other devices, making your entire library easily portable. Yes, you can take your favorite books with you wherever you go. They can be an effective way to read more books, especially for individuals who have limited time for traditional reading. This can help you accomplish your reading goals and explore a broader range of literature. And many audiobook platforms offer personalized recommendations based on your reading history, helping you discover new books and authors that align with your interests. Purchasing or borrowing audiobooks supports authors and the publishing industry, helping to ensure the continued creation of engaging content. This can expose you to various cultures and languages as well, allowing you to explore stories and perspectives from around the world. Many libraries even offer free audiobook loans, making this hobby probably the most budget friendly one we've ever mentioned on our podcast. So just check with your local library for audiobook borrowing options. Whether you're a long time enthusiast or just starting to explore this hobby, it's a rewarding and enjoyable way to engage with literature and expand your knowledge. Our sunflower message will be words of affirmation. You are capable, resilient, and unique. Your journey is filled with potential, and your efforts make a difference. Keep believing in yourself, and you can achieve great things. Your presence in this world is significant, and you have the power to create positive change. Every day is a new opportunity to learn, a new opportunity to grow, and a new opportunity to make a difference in your life and the lives of others. Embrace your strengths and embrace the journey ahead with confidence and determination. Our listening audience is much appreciated. We care about you, and we appreciate the way that you guys make sure that we know that you're liking what's going on. On Cash App, $Live Laugh Talk. And we want to thank you for that as well. Those of you who are donating. And on Twitter at Live Laugh Talker. Also on Spotify, hit the $. Any donation is appreciated. So the ones that you guys are sending in, those of you who are, it is used for the cause of the podcast and the podcast only. And you're so much appreciated. Remember to rate us on your podcast platform. So if it's a 10 or a 5 or what have you, give us the highest rating so that we will be able to see the podcast grow. And don't forget to tell your friends about us, please. Your family, those that you work with. Go to Etsy.com and there you will find some of the swag. We have t-shirts, hats coming, cups. We also have tote bags, which I love. I carry that tote bag all over the place. And you go to Etsy.com. How did we get here? How did we get here is the search for the merchandise. This is James and George's baby boy signing off. And as you know, I can't wait to talk with you again soon.